Heyo everybody, my name is Kayz and welcome to my channel. Last week I uploaded an animation of my two dragoon characters, Asher and Sahara, the sand dragons. I made the animation for a Multi Animator Project, and today I'm going to go through the animation step by step to show you guys the process I took while making it from rough animation to the final product, as well as a speed paint for the background I used in this animation. So let's get straight into it. So first of all, for this animation, I used a free animation software called Opentoonz, and for the background, which you will see later, I used Ibis Paint X and imported the rendered images into Opentoonz. I wanted to try to improve on my confidence with animation skills and use this Multi Animator Project as a way to train myself to animate quicker. I made this animation in around a week when you take out the days that I didn't work on this because blah, 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 blah. But anyway, since I had a short time to make this and vector outlines take me way too long to do, I wanted to clean up my rough animation with detailed raster lines. Lately I haven't been doing this with my animation since I find making clean outlines on my computer drawing tablet hard without being able to alter it with vectors. So I feel like this animation was a good opportunity to practice raster lines, which are faster for me to do and don't slow down my computer. I also didn't want to be a perfectionist when working on this animation because if I worried about every detail being perfect, this would have taken a lot longer to make. So instead I focused more on making the movements look good and gave it a slightly sketchy look with the pencil texture, but made sure it wasn't as horrendous as my old YouTube intros, chicken scratch. I try to use longer and cleaner strokes with this one, and in some spots I think it looks really nice, but in other spots you could see some chicken scratch because I'm still not the best at doing these kind of outlines on my computer. I also didn't try to be perfect with the coloring either, for pretty much the same reasons I just stated. I used the fill bucket tool to color Asher and fixed up the spots where the bucket couldn't reach with the paintbrush tool. After the coloring, I went ahead and added keyframes to Asher to make him move across the screen as he dances, as well as to make the camera zoom out and pan. After this, I added in Sahara, since she wasn't the focus of the scene and she also wasn't going to be on camera that much. She's pretty much just a still drawing that blinks. Later on in the animation, you'll see that I pretty much just copied and pasted this, but zoomed in to wrap up the scene. But now it's onto the background. I wanted to have it be a sunset initially with a pinkish hue, but I couldn't get it to look right. Probably because I didn't look up a reference, but eh. I wanted the pinkish hue to give this feeling of romance, and basically in this animation, Asher is performing a song and dance for Sahara as a show of love. I was originally going to have some orange in the background too, because sunset, but then I realized this was better without it since the color schemes of Asher and Sahara contain mostly warm colors and red, so it would make them stand out more if the cooler colors were used instead of like warm oranges and yellows. And on top of that, I find it hard, I thought it was kind of hard trying to get the orange to gradient into pink and blue properly and make it look good and realistic and natural. So I just went ahead with the pink and blues and got rid of the oranges. I continued this cool color scheme for the background using colder hues, blues, greens, and with the pinks and browns also being given some cool stuffs. With all the cool colors in the backgrounds, it really made it feel like a cold, dewy morning, and so I decided it would now be sunrise in this animation instead of sunset. Maybe Asher just woke up Sahara for a surprise? Something like that, I don't know. I was really happy with how this background turned out texture-wise, and I feel like normally I have troubles trying to get the right feel for my background style and texture-wise, and trying to get it to match with my cartoon style. So if you have any suggestions on how to improve my backgrounds, please do feel free to let me know in the comments below, along with any other critiques you have about this animation in general. I used some effects filters on stuff here as well, which creates a nice lighting effect on trees and makes a cool soft painting-like effect. When I was done with drawing the scene, I saved every piece as its own transparent PNG file and then put them into Opentoonz. I did this so that I could move the different parts effects in the background and the foreground to create a parallax effect. For those who don't know, a parallax effect is just moving stuff furthest away from the camera the least and moving stuff closest to the camera the most to make a more realistic perspective shifty thingy. This was my first time doing this in an animation, and I'm very happy with how this turned out, especially because before I was kind of nervous about approaching backgrounds in animation. When that was done, I added an Opentoonz effect to make the sun look more glowy. At this point, I had almost finished the animation, but I still had a second or two to fill out my part for the Multi Animator Project, so I cut the camera closer to Sahara. This is what I mentioned earlier, and went through the animation process again to animate Asher coming in and leaning into Sahara. It ended up being a little choppy, like with the animation frames. It's not as smooth as I initially planned because I didn't have much frame space, and like I said earlier, I was trying to animate this fast, and this was the last thing I had to do. And there we have it. This is the final animation. And yeah, that's the process I took when making this animation. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like what you see, then why not leave a like and check out my other videos. I do speed paints, animations, and more, and of course I draw lots and lots of dragoons. If you really like what you see, then why not subscribe and ring a ding-ding on the notification bell below to receive notifications for when I release new videos on my channel. I hope you all have a great day. God bless, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching.